WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Nice looking Thursday morning. I read the other day that golf is America's favorite pastime. Maybe it's taken over from baseball. I don't know. Jim Beckett is in the studio to answer that question and every other question about golf. He is, of course, a PGA professional and the founder of the Golf College. He will answer your golf questions, whether it's about the game, the course, or anything associated, maybe even the rules. That's one of the questions I think I come up the most with, is the rules. And technique questions, everything associated with golf. The show is called Let's Talk Golf, so let's do that. The phone number is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, 622-WOCA. And if you're out of the area, 352. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good. I think Joe was trying to get you to chuckle there. I'm not sure.
I was busy writing.
Yeah, you didn't see him. You didn't see him.
Joe always gets me to chuckle.
So I read, golf is America's favorite pastime. I don't know. I don't know if it took over something else, but
well, I think baseball was the consensus for a long time.
Maybe it depends on who's writing the article.
Probably a lot more people playing golf rather than being an audience to golf.
That's probably true.
That's probably what they meant.
Yeah.
That's one of the nice things about it. Everybody can participate.
Well, that is true. Yeah, if you think about it. In fact, it's easier to put together just two people,
and they can do it on their own terms,
or on your own. Do you have people showing up all by themselves?
We do. We have people call in and say they don't have a group. Do we have any room for singles? So if we have a twosome or a threesome, we do fit them together. Not only is it better to play with somebody else, but it's economically, it takes up a full space for one or for four. So most golf courses, if they're busy, are trying to fill in the groups. But it's still better to play with somebody in most cases.
And is 4 the maximum?
4 is the maximum for most places. Occasionally, when golf courses have people that they know play more efficient, a little faster, they will let some 4, some 5, some 4.
Oh, really? So you have to have kind of a proven track record?
Somewhat. And it has to be under certain conditions. And it also takes up an additional cart with only one rider. So if you're doing carts...
That's true, too.
So there's some economics involved as well as some efficiency on the course. And we've had that rule for foursomes for years. So if you have a 5-some plan, then you get bombarded by other people saying, how come we can't play 5? So it's kind of a...
So what is the rule for a non-playing participant? Let's say a guy wants to go golfing, his wife doesn't want to golf, but she wants to come along.
They can do that.
Does she pay?
Some courses charge like a half rate for a rider in a cart. Because when you're renting a cart, you're getting a piece of the fee is for the cart and maintenance and the expense. That's besides the golf course maintenance, that's the second biggest expense in golf is carts. They need constant maintenance, and they're not inexpensive to lease or purchase.
Is it less if you walk? If you decide I'm not taking a car, you pay less?
You don't find that very often.
Yeah.
No. Sometimes some courses in the later part of the day, when they're not busy, some courses have pull carts. Lugging a bag, if it's got any clubs in it at all, it gets a little old.
Yeah, I would imagine it does. But wasn't that the norm once upon a time?
Once upon a time, there was no carts. I was in golf when there was no carts.
And why were there no carts? They just weren't invented yet? What was the story?
No, they just hadn't been manufactured. Nobody thought about the whole idea. It was in the era when a lot of increase in play was taking place, and the idea was that would make golf move around the golf course faster, and it really doesn't. Because if you and I are riding in a cart and you hit in the left rough and I hit the right rough, we got to drive to one of them and drive across the fairway. So
that's true.
I don't know that they speed it up that much. But a walker that doesn't walk reasonably brisk will play slower.
Well, and somebody who's got a physical issue where walking is just it would make golf prohibited. I mean, you wouldn't be able to play golf if
it opened up the door for many people to play golf.
I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing, I guess.
It's more good than bad.
But it becomes expensive for the golf course.
Well, it becomes a little more expensive for the player as well, because that's, they
so do you have
into the cost.
Do you have rules about bringing your own golf cart?
No, if you're in a community where you live in that community, they can drive to the golf course in a cart. Some people charge a trail fee because your cart impacts the ground more than somebody walking.
Right, right.
Those tires. I can remember the first carts. I was at a golf course when they first came out, and they came and said, they had these big posters saying that the tire only put 24 pounds of pressure on the grass, but a person weighing 160 pounds put 80 pounds of pressure every time they walked. Well, that's not true.
And why did that sounds like propaganda?
Oh, it was propaganda because they knew they were going to have a problem. And that's where cart paths came from.
Yeah.
We didn't have cart paths when I first started playing golf. There was no such thing.
No need for it.
No. So there's no pavement, no place to have them drive in the rough.
But was there a worn trail, like from just all the people walking in the same place?
No.
Really?
I had walkers. You had very little of that.
Huh. We really haven't talked about that part in all the weeks that you've done this particular show.
It's just people that started golf after carts. That's just the way it is. But I was able to play golf for a few years where there was no carts, and it was very pleasant. I love a caddy.
You like having somebody. So do you pay for the caddy? I mean,
oh yeah.
Okay, so is a caddy the same price as
That's
a
how
wife?
I got into golf. I started caddying first.
But what I mean is, if I go to golf and I want to bring my friend who's not golfing, do I pay the same amount as I would pay if I had to have a caddy with me? He's also not golfing.
A lot of golf courses, the fee is, they don't separate it. When they first started carts, you had a greens fee and a cart fee. It was separate. Most golf courses now, it's one fee just
pay and play,
and it includes the cart. So some courses might do something for you.
Well, going back to the opening statement about it being America's favorite pastime, I think your observation is probably right, that more people can participate as opposed to being a spectator. Yeah. It's hard to get together enough guys and ladies to play a game or softball.
Probably get more ladies.
Yeah, we should. That's always my theory, It's pretty much in everything. All right, let's go to the phone. Jim Beckett is here to answer your questions about golf. The number is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, 622-9622. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Very good, thank you. When it comes to professional caddies, are they basically, do they get a percent of the winnings, or do they have like a set salary, or how does that work, generally speaking?
Well, it's obviously a personal contract between the pro and the caddy, but basically there is a suggested caddy fee.
Yeah.
And most of the players give up to 10% to the caddy.
Okay.
And in that case, they're professional caddies, and caddies for years were considered people who just toted the bag around.
Yeah.
We really and truly don't have any caddies on the tour that I'm aware of. These people are experienced in teaching and psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
They really are the confidant of that golfer. They learn. That's why the golfer, when they can afford it, keeps the same caddy. They'll fire them sometime to get new ones.
Yeah.
But it's like their partner. So they learn the little nuances of the golfer, what gets them upset, things that bother them, what have you. So
yeah,
they're their caretaker, not just their bag toter.
Yeah.
They do a lot more. They their job is pretty entailed. They usually keep that book you see them pulling out. They have walked the course, and they've charted not only the fairway and the roughs, but even further out in the boondocks in case someone hits them there, so that they can absolutely give them a true yardage to the green.
Do they have to pay anybody a fee, like the tournaments or anything, or for being a caddy, or for like being maybe licensed, or?
Nowadays, I don't know how many places have caddies. The Masters for a long time supplied their own caddies.
Yeah.
And they worked there they work there exclusively.
Yeah, yeah.
Nowadays, like I say, enough money's involved. The golfers that are reasonably successful, even the ones wanting to be successful, make enough money that the benefit of having your own caddy and having that personal relationship is very, very beneficial. I've done students of mine before who were reasonably good golfers, and if they want to learn to play, what happens when you get into golf is everybody wants to teach you the swing and the grip and all those things. Then you go play, and you come back and we hear horror stories, but they don't do the bad things in front of us. So I've instituted a thing where in the golf college we come in and we talk about all the swing mechanics and get that settled. We go to the driving range and make sure you can transfer that to striking balls. Then we go to the short game area to do 4 things: chipping, pitching, sand, and putting. Very underrated, and one of the probably the most important part of the game for scoring. And then we go on the golf course, and I let a person play 9 holes their way. And then on the second 9, I choose the club and tell them where to hit it, and it's never where they want to go. I teach them how to score. So your ball striking expertise does not normally reflect your ability for scoring. So it's a pretty interesting program, and I'd say 7 out of 10 people who come to me for help, they elect to take that program because I make the price half as much during the hourly rate as taking lessons. To encourage them to do so.
Right.
And it works wonderfully well. That's what I did yesterday. I was on the course for 18 holes.
Wow.
Down at Plantation with two students. And
say, by chance, would you know whatever happened to Tiger Woods' famous caddy, the guy that was with him for all the years of tournament wins?
Yes, he's caddying for Scott.
Oh, okay.
What is his name? Escapes me at the moment.
But he's still active in golf then?
He would be sought after.
Sought after,
He is a very good player himself.
Okay.
He's a good manager. He knows all the courses that they play. Has all the distances already tracked in his master book. And he might have been too strong for Tiger.
Okay.
For Adam Scott.
He
needed that kind of prodding. The caddy is making him more successful because he's basically his playing manager. And he's a stronger personality. Adam's one of those things they say sometimes. You've seen him on the interviews. Adam is very, very reserved, a gentleman in every sense of the way, and very nice, brought up that way. So the caddy is helping him be stronger. And it's a twofold situation. He's helping Adam be stronger and reach his full potential. And of course, then he's getting bigger fees for that service. It's very different now than it's a bad word nowadays. They're not just caddies basically just carried the bag and found the ball. Not so anymore.
This last weekend, real quickly, with Sergio Garcia, with the 2 water shots there, what do you think it was? Just basic a lack of concentration, or did he kind of get a little bit shook up there, or the pressure got to him? What do you think on that?
I believe Sergio's emotion always benefits him positively or negatively. It's never neutral. He was very upset with the press. The press is going to take Tiger's side every time, regardless whether he's right or wrong. We know he's wrong. I mean, it's a proven fact. If anybody don't believe that, then they're not being a reality. That has nothing to do with the magnificent talent he has. And the magnificent record he's done. But the two are separate. And quite frankly, I've been playing golf a lot longer than Tiger's old. I've been playing 47 years.
Oh, boy.
You never, I don't care if there's 1,000 people there, you know when the other person struck the ball or not. You could hear that for 2 fairways over. So he can deny it all he wants to, but he is what he is. He's a magnificent talent, should be applauded for what he's done. But he still hasn't grown up.
Okay, very good. Well, I love your program, and thank you for talking.
Thank you.
You bet. Bye. Bye now.
Thank you. And if you would like to be on the air and speak to Jim, the number is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, 622-WOCA. The other day, Jim, Dan and I were in the production room, and we stumbled upon a video about how to swing the golf club and always have the ball go the exact direction you want it to go.
Right.
And it was on the .com was a name, and I wanted to ask you about him, Mo Norman. And I heard that he died, so I guess
Mo Norman probably was the greatest ball striker so far.
Which is what they say. Which is what they say in the video.
I had the pleasure of knowing him. My last head pro job before up here was at Royal Oak in Titusville. And when our owner passed away, the wife ran it for a year and decided it was too big of an ordeal. And the Canadian PGA bought the course as their winter home because the winter golfers come down to Florida or the warm weather,
right.
And it's obviously a problem when to play. Well, in the winter we're loaded with people, so they bought it as their winter home. I was still the pro there, and Mo is a very interesting guy to try to describe. It took me a year to understand what he was saying. In the time I say hello, he said 40 words with a little bit of an accent, and he's very hyper.
No.
But Mo has stories you cannot believe, and they are true. He was in the Masters at one time, and he liked to carry his own bag. He didn't carry a full set of clubs. He said it wasn't necessary. He was just that kind of guy. But he could strike the ball. If you saw it, you still couldn't hardly believe it. But I saw him over on the East Coast. Trying to remember the name of the little course. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, he was bored because play was too slow. So these guys were prodding him about something. He said, well, the course is fairly easy. He said, I'm going to show you. I'm going to have a pitching wedge off the tee and hit a driver on the green. He reversed the cycle. Normally he hit a driver and get close to the green and hit whatever club. So he did. He hit a pitching wedge off the tee, about 120 yards, and he hit a driver about 250 yards and he knocked it on the green. So
he did it backwards.
He did it backward, but he told him ahead of time he's going to knock it on the green. Hitting a driver 250 and getting it on the green.
Oh, wow. So I have some questions, since obviously you respect him, and we're getting evidence now from you that what we heard on that video was true.
Oh, yeah. They could not be overstated. He was at my golf course for about 2 years, and he sent one of his friends up to ask me, could he teach? And I said, well, why didn't he come up? He said, well, he's a little afraid to talk to you. And I said, well, you tell him he's welcome to teach, not a problem.
Oh, wow. Now, the video implied that you could learn from the video. Somebody's decided to sell some videos using his name.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming using video shots of him so that you see how he did what he did, since he's not alive anymore.
Right.
So I guess the thing Dan and I were wondering about is, can you learn that way? Well, now that you've verified that the man is indeed genuine, and at the time we didn't know he had passed away, but why? Because the video also implied that he was very, very good, as you've already confirmed, but yet not famous. Why did he? What happened there?
He was famous in the golf world. He was very shy, just like he didn't want to come up and see me.
Right.
And here he is, a great golfer, done all kind of stuff, and here I was just a pro at a local course.
Yeah.
He's very well known in the golf world, but he was a little eccentric, and he had some problems, and who knows what exactly they were. You know, people have said what they were, doctors, what have you, but talked excessively fast, somewhat impatient, but a good person.
Wow.
But at the Masters, he qualified for the Masters by winning a tournament in Canada. He was a Canadian. And he went down there and he carried his own bag. Well, at the Masters, the caddies have to wear the white Masters uniform and overalls and the whole deal. And he wanted to carry his bag. And so they told him that he couldn't play if he didn't have a caddy. He said, well, fine, I'll go home.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And that's unheard of, because that's one of the things that many great golfers never made it to the Masters.
Yeah, right.
He did. So he said, it's my way.
So he went home?
Yeah.
He did go home.
Yeah, he left.
Oh, wow.
Because he wouldn't let him carry his bag.
It's almost like I'm almost like, it sounds like I'm listening to the story of an artist. That happens a lot in the arts where...
He's, I knew him fairly well because, like I say, he was after about a year, then he would talk to me. So I had about a year of interacting with him, and I'd let him I'd ask him would he put on some little clinic demonstrations, and he'd just take a driver and hit it off the ground. Most people have a hard time hitting it off of a tee, but he could do anything with a golf ball. He had great hands, and in yesteryear we were shot makers. Now we're ball blasters. The equipment and the balls, it's hard to curve the ball. We'd have a new Mo Norman by the name of from Florida here named Bubba Watson, and he can curve the ball. The reason you want to curve it sometimes is shape the ball, is what the term is. To have it, if you have a back left pin, you want to get it to the fat of the green, and if it doesn't curve, then you hit it on the green. If it does curve, you hit it close to the hole. Is
it just a layperson's guess that he somehow had instinctive understanding of the effect of the wind? Because if you're going to hit it straight every time, the wind has to have some effect.
The best golfers in the world don't try to hit it straight. They try to hit it where they want it to land.
Okay.
So the ball has spin on it. It's not a knuckleball.
Does the spin counteract wind?
Well, spin, if it's excessive spin, will get friction in the wind and curve whichever way it's spinning, like a bowling ball. People throw a curve on the bowling ball. Throw it and it goes straight for a little while, and then it finally slows down and it spins and curves at the end of the alley. So a lot of golfers don't curve it much, but they want to make sure they know whether it's curving, whether it's spinning clockwise or counterclockwise, and that's how they control the ball. I'm a shot shaper. I grew up that way when it was the thing to do. So now it's not, but I teach a lot of students that they need to know which way it's spinning, because when you aim straight down the fairway and it doesn't go straight, it's going to curve to the right or to the left. So you have a 1 in 3 chance of hitting a good shot.
Yeah,
if you spin it right to left and aim down the right side of the fairway and it goes straight, you're in the fairway, and if it curves a little bit, you're still in the fairway. So now you have a 2 in 3 chance of hitting it where you want.
And the ability to spin a ball must take very good... you have to be a good golfer to do that.
I could show you in one hour session.
Really?
And you could spin it. And what would happen when you teach a person that, they quit trying to hit it so hard. When we tighten up and try to hit it hard, we don't control our club at all.
Wow.
So it's club head control. It's just like a tennis racket, hit overspin or a cut spin or a ping pong paddle. It's not hard to do, but it's not the thing anymore. It's Arnold Palmer's father, I'm pretty sure this was a true statement, I heard it from a good source, told his son when he was young, hit it hard as you can, we'll straighten it out later. Well, they never straightened it out. He just had a lot of talent. Talent always wins.
So Mo Norman, the man who got me to ask you about this, I'm not asking you to endorse his videos, obviously, but do you think we could learn from those videos, or from any videos for that matter? I
don't believe anyone can truly learn from a video, but they could be influenced.
Okay, inspired if nothing else.
And the reason why, Larry, is that person doesn't know who they're talking to, and there's basically 9 body types. So there's no way you're going to swing with a guy that's 5'3" and weighs 150 pounds. The body. Well, it's like cars.
Yeah.
We know we can't get an 18-wheel truck to go around a corner like a Corvette.
Yeah. Oh, good.
I mean, I use cars all the time.
That makes sense.
So I teach personalization. Let's do what we can do with the resources we have, and it's so much more successful.
Have you ever had a student who was learning from a video and came to you with the video and said, "I'm going to show you something, and I'm not getting it. Can you show me how to do what the video is trying to teach me?"
I have that happen frequently, and I have many students come with me for the Ben Hogan book. It's the 5 ways or 5 steps. I said, well, if you have Ben Hogan's body type, his flexibility, his sense of balance,
that's it.
His magnificent hands, absolutely.
Wow. I'm glad I asked you about that. And it's very cool that you knew the guy, too. It sounds
well,
like...
it was cool because he's a myth. I mean, a lot of people, he's a legend in the golf world.
I think you are in that category. I mean, everybody talks about you. All right, we've got time for one tiny call. Good morning. You're the last caller.
Okay, hi. I don't play golf, but I like to read about it in the sports section, like a lot of the other sports that I don't actually participate in. And the person that's kind of had my attention for the last year is our own golfer here, Ted Potter. And I wondered if you'd ever played with him. And also, I think he sounds like he's a little shy and basically kind of self-taught like Bubba Watson. I mean, I don't know if it's really true because I've never met him. I just read about him, and I really think that we should be proud of him here in Marion County because he seems like a real gentleman to me.
It's Ted Potter Jr. He is a left-handed gentleman and extremely talented. I've been watching him since I knew he played in the Ocala Open here, and he's done really well because when you get on the big stage out there, it's really different, and he's handled it really well, which tells me a lot about him.
Wow.
I have not met him, but
so you've never played with him then yourself?
No, I have not, but he has really done well. You can get really overwhelmed to go out there with the big boys and play under those conditions, and he's done really well. I'm proud of him.
Okay, yeah, well, because I was trying to talk to the mayor about giving him the key to the city when he won the Greenbrier last year. But I understand he's pretty shy.
He is somewhat shy. I'm impressed with what he's done, though, because I know many golfers who had the talent, and when they got on the big show, it's a different ball game out there, and he's done extremely well. Very talented young man.
Okay.
I agree with you. We should do something for him because he puts Ocala on the map.
Right, and I just real proud of what he's done. Like I said, I don't play golf, and I never have, and I don't have television, so I can't watch it on there, but I like to read about it in the
Well, if you want to play, you give Larry or me a call, and I think I'll surprise you how good you could be.
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm too old.
No, I don't think so.
No, ma'am. It is one of the greatest things you can do for your mind and your body without stressing it. It's amazing. It's an art form. It's not an athletic sport.
Well, I tell you, I tried to learn tennis, and one time, and I never could return it, so one time when whoever I was playing with hit the tennis ball over there, and I hit it back, and he didn't hit it. He said, "How come you returned it? You never were able to return it."
Well, I'm not going to ask you your age, but I currently have a lady 87, and her husband's 94, and they're doing great.
Okay.
All righty.
There you go.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, and Jim is the guy to go to for the listeners. He if he can teach us, he can teach anybody. Jim, how do we get you? How do we get a hold of you?
My cell number is 352-470-3876, and that I'll answer you anytime. Unless I'm with a student, I'll call you back. If I don't call you back, you pester me again, and I'm inviting everybody to come down. If you'll tell me you heard me on the radio, you can have a free orientation in our simulator at the golf store, and the village is called Village Golf Liquidators.
Excellent. And we've got the numbers written down, so call us if you need it repeated. Jim Beckett, thank you so much.
It was great.
Look at the clock. Look how fast it went.
It's unbelievable.
All right, we'll take a little break and be right back.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala. The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida. A nice day today with partly sunny skies, the high 81 on the coast, up to 88 well inland, and partly cloudy tonight, those 66 to 70. More sun than clouds tomorrow and becoming more humid, the high 82 on the coast, approaching...